about 2 days ago, and the last 2 days have been even more insane. Everyone's going everywhere. Xpecial just got transferred to TSM. Oh, sorry, to Curse. Sorry, Mott. I know that you're pretty pissed about anything happening to TSM. They're breaking apart. No. But at the same time, there's so much shit happening. We got Leap Gornum. I can't even say his name properly. He's going to, I think TSM is their new support. They've got a new jungler because the odd one's going away. That's about to be 60, I guess, a new 40% of the team. Are you going to be okay with that, Mart?
So welcome to the C4's
Welcome!
LCS rundown. This is Mott Ganorum joining you guys here on this lovely Sunday night, shortly after 9 p.m., barring... We went for a little bit of a throwback. We went with the audio issues this week.
Oh, I gladly accept every audio issue. It's entirely up to me. It's entirely on my part. Oh, great. Oh, only Pone's just messaging me on Skype, I don't know, 10 minutes ago asking, are you live? Tell Mott to turn on his mic. Well, it's really my fault. Totally accept that 100%. Apologies.
There we go. Well, welcome everybody. We've had just a stupid, crazy week this week with a ton of LCS news. No LCS games, no Optimus Tom. He is off casting some tournament. What tournament is he casting?
It's Lone Star Classic.
Yeah, so he's off doing that, leaving
and
us.
That includes one new LCS team.
Yes.
The new Complexity Black, which is now Complexity, because I think they merged into one because, well, they have a LCS team. And I think for this tournament, they don't have Prolly. They're a bit different than normal, but it's still Complexity. They're about to be shown on the LCS in just like 2 weeks.
And they're not Complexity Black anymore. They are.
I think they just went to just Complexity, right?
No, they just lost every sort of. I should say. I can't even say antonym. What am I saying? Suffix. They have no suffix anymore. It's just Complexity. That's it.
Right.
Complexity Gaming, League of Legends, something or other.
Yeah, we'll just call them Complexity because that's complex.
Yeah.
And you know what else
Complexity
is very
Moth.
complex? Speaking of complex, the very complex nature of the Trinity Force Podcast Network. Of course, you can find us live on...
Nice segue. It was so smooth.
I practiced that one. Twitch TV / T-Force Podcast. And also, don't forget to listen to the Trinity Force podcast proper on Mondays and Wednesdays, and the Oz LOL podcast on Thursdays, which I think some of us might go over and hang out with them for an episode or two pretty soon.
How about that?
They've been talking about it, so we should totally do that.
I mean, I really want to as I have like chip in my mouth and look really, really classy, I really want to appear on one of those because they have a few times where they're missing a person. Case in point, oh wait, right now. I thought that we were going to get either Dom or Pone, but suddenly they were like, nah, we don't want that.
3 gold shy.
Yeah. For those of you who are joining us live, we are sans stream because we had to throw things together last minute because of the audio issues.
What do you mean? We're not streaming?
No, we're streaming. Sorry, sans overlay. There's no overlay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. But, yeah, introductions for this week. As said before, I am Mott Ganorum. I'm joined this week by an incredibly wasted cereal box, which is awesome. Because we're going to get heated this week over all the fun things.
I will say I have been a big part of what's really an incredible game, an incredible multiplayer game for everyone in the world. It's not League of Legends. It's called Slap the Bag. And that's what I've been playing all weekend because we just found out that my friend had some, not step above the Franzia. And we have just got it out of that box and we've just been...
I thought we were diving into
friends with it. It's pretty great.
I thought we were diving into our personal lives for a second.
Oh no, this is not personal life at all. This
Where
is
are you going to go with this
one?
one?
The past like 6 hours, so it's great. It's been
And
great.
will there be charges?
And who else is with us?
We have Greg, Credible Mushroom.
Believe in the shroom. Best fungus ever.
You know what's great? You know what's really funny? I haven't had artwork behind me the entire time I've been podcasting with you guys, and suddenly this time I have. As I scoot to the left, I know the listeners won't hear this if they're downloading it, but I have this great artwork from the league. If you watch it on FX, I know I'm advertising for a group that has way too many viewers already. But a lot of people have asked on the Victorious Gaming chat when I've been shoutcasting and been like, what the hell is going on behind you? If you watch the league, I'd love to hear one person who knows what's going on. So if anyone likes to throw that in Twitch chat, I would just immediately love it because no one knows anything about what's going on. Sorry to take that one away. Colonel Mushroom's here.
If you ever need a reason to come and watch this show live, it's for what's going on this episode right now.
Because there's a lot happening right now. I can't even bring up the number of tabs I have right now for what just happened for the entirety of the week.
All right. Well, let's just hop right into it. So here's the style. Here's the way we're going to go into this. We're going to do this round-robin draft style.
Wait,
for those of you who
what?
have been living under a rock, not paying attention, maybe don't even have the internet, shit went down this week in the LCS. People are getting fired. People are getting traded. There's just so much stuff going on. Players are going to all different teams. The sky is falling. TSM is dead. Cloud9 gets into a car accident. Whatever happens, it wasn't actually a car accident, it was a lung collapse. But either way, we have tons of crazy stuff. There's no orderly way to hit any of this. So here's the format. One of us will start. It's probably going to be me. We will pick an event for this week. We'll discuss it. As soon as somebody is done discussing it, we stamp it. It's done. It's over. We can't talk about it anymore. That person brings up a new subject, and we keep going.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a little pact that we can just talk about TSM for about 5 seconds and then Mock can shut up about it? Because it'd be amazing.
No, you guys actually might like my opinion on this. You might like my opinion on this.
You know what? I'd like to briefly, very, very briefly talk about any games that happened. And I'm talking briefly maybe a 1 minute situation because we have that very small tournament going on. I don't want to say very small as though it's unimportant, but our fourth caster, Optimus Tom, is shoutcasting the Lone Star Classic, which has a lot of the one previous Challenger Series team against a bunch of Challenger Series teams. He's on edge, dealing with all those teams right now. It looks great. It's been a fun tournament. But at the same time, we have to deal with all the roster changes. And I feel bad talking about anything but games considering, what's happened this whole week? That's been it. It's been roster changes for fucking days because it's the off season for one whole week.
I don't even want to call it into the off season. There's no.
It is though.
There's no.
No,
Well, for some
it's
teams,
not.
for some teams, yes, they're not involved.
It's
in
a bye
any
week.
All-star That's exactly what it is. It's
the
a bye
off season.
week.
It's the only time this has happened. It happened last season very briefly when Bjergsen came in and EG came in, and they said, "Hey, we're going to kind of invade a little bit and see what happens." They were testing the waters briefly, and suddenly, in the course of a week, we've had Amazing come in, is the new TSM jungler. I really wish I could have a big just monitor up with every single change that's happened in NA, but it's been all over the place. Everything has happened in a course of a single week. We've had Oddone leaves, Bleer Grobler has joined TSM because that's totally how it's pronounced.
That name all the time.
Yeah, that. We've had XCG disbanded. Not surprising considering they didn't qualify for LCS anymore. C9T disbanded. X Special's gone. He's now on Curse, which is weird because you usually expect a CLG player to go to Curse. So I'm surprised that it was somebody not associated with CLG. I mean, I don't want to list down these, but there's a lot. There's so many things that have happened in this past week that it's impossible to cover everything just in any period of time.
All right, well, here we go. We're going to hop right into it. I will start the first topic. We're going to discuss it till it's done, and then we're moving on. First topic, TXDG disbands.
Really? That's what you're going to go?
Oh, we're starting there because I think this is a ripple effect. I think this is a huge thing. So first of all, the worst team in the North American LCS disbands. Now they're gone.
I'll let Greg cover this first because I have a lot of
Benny retires. Xmithy, Zuna, and ManCloud are now out in the free agent landscape. And Sheep has, through Twitter, announced that he is going into a yet to be named, as of right now, to our knowledge, challenger team. So the big things to note here, Xmithy, Zuna, and ManCloud, all three pretty good players, are now open in free agent market. I'm going to look through my notes really quick here. I'm pretty sure that some of these people have already been picked up. But, yeah, let's discuss.
I haven't heard any confirmations about where they're going, although you may have better information than me. But I can't imagine they're going to stay free agents for very long, especially Xmithy.
No. With all the movement that's been going on, I mean, I think the free agent market for people right now is really cool. A free agent here being defined as a person who has LCS experience and is now no longer on a team that matters. I mean, Coast disbanding, XDG disbanding. That's a ton of play. That's 10 players going out into the middle of nowhere. And with all the other movements that's been happening, I'm definitely excited to see people start kicking around. I think that this is the best thing that could ever happen in the LCS, is when these teams get pushed down, they burst, because there's always really cool players that are fun to watch, and it sucks when they're on shitty teams.
Yeah.
I'm piling through notes here right now to find
Special.
something.
I have so many opinions on this, and one of the difficult things to deal with is the fact that so many people are switching teams, and that happened. Think about, let's say, beginning before spring split of this previous split, we had a few European players come in. Obviously, EG was 60% European. You also had Bjergsen. You had a few other people come into the NALCS.
Yep.
With no problem. And I have zero problem with people coming into another region. I would be totally fine with NA players going over to Europe and joining a EU team. But at the same time, everyone's freaking out because suddenly Forgiven's off of Coming Wolves. You have Amazing coming over and becoming TSM's new jungler, as far as Odd One has retired. You have everyone just totally taking, European players taking over a lot of roles in NA, which I am fine with, but everyone's having such a huge backlash. They really don't like it. They don't like it at all. And I disagree 100% with the community response, because it just happens. This is what sports is. This happens in every single other sports league ever.
We're a melting pot of friendship.
That's the thing.
It's America, goddammit.
Even in European
Give us
sports
your
leagues,
tired,
this is
your
what
poor,
happens.
your diamond fives yearning to breathe free.
No, but this is what
Who
happens
was
in
it?
every
Somebody-
sports league. It gets people from every part of the world. They want to pick the best people from the best areas, regardless of who they are. As long as they're not committed to a team, they pick and choose from wherever. And the fact that they're complaining that, oh no, a European player again is coming to North America, it's not a big deal. That happens all the time. And it's funny, I think Joe Miller posted today, which is hilarious because no one in America follows soccer or football. The fact that this is what happens for European footballers is that they get really good, get a shit ton of money, and then get fired and go towards the Major League Soccer side of things. Like when they start playing badly, they go over to the American side of things. Not true for League of Legends, of course, because I think that North America and Europe are pretty even on that side of things. But it's amusing because that's been happening. There's been a huge kind of wave taking people from Europe over to North America. And I guess we'll see now that Mott's favorite team is going to be at least 2/5 European, maybe more than that. We'll see soon.
Well, I'm trying to find the quote. It was somebody from the EU scene. There was a post on Reddit about it earlier today, but I didn't think to grab it. They were saying how NA is, you get all the benefits of being over into the EU scene, and I'm going to really count on the chat here to bail.
I need to actually pull up the chat because.
But the EU scene, hey, you go to the NA scene to get all the benefits of the EU scene in terms of fandom, just without as much competition. And I love that statement because it's bashing the people who are migrating over. But that's like saying, oh, well, EG came over for not as much competition and got stuffed down to the bottom. So
But it's still
true,
so-
maybe not as accurate, I think, as some people get into.
Just pop out of that
But
chat.
boom, we're gonna smack that one. Next topic. So XDG's gone.
What
Boom.
next topic?
Next.
XTG, a team that was already out of LCS and got crushed in relegations. I'm sorry, I was gone last week, so I really can't shit talk them too much because I was gone for their 3-0 loss to get them out of the LCS. They got shit on, and their team is falling apart. Big surprise considering what are you looking at? If you talk to a bunch of people and say, hey, we're in the LCS, we're going to make a lot of money, we're going to make a living, we can live off of this, and suddenly you get taken out of that, and they don't look like they're even strong enough to make it back in the next split, which is going to be a while from now because you're talking about the summer to spring. LCS has a weird break. They have a really, really long break that I wish they would kind of make up for, considering OGN has their winter split. I want to see that. I want to see more involvement. I know that will be more money being paid out by Riot, but at the same time, you're leaving a lot of people in the dust for a while. You have people that are, I don't know how the qualifications go because this is the first time we've had that Challenger Series kind of coming in. Teams like HG, what are they supposed to do for a whole year?
Practice.
They get
practice. Get your game up, man.
Get out of here,
Step
my
your
man.
game up and step your chain up.
All right, well, there we go. What's the next topic of discussion? Greg, pick. Go.
Can we talk about X Special?
We can.
Let's talk about TSM as a
Are
whole.
you sad about that, Mott?
I will let you guys start off the discussion, and then I
sad?
will insert my opinion.
I think
Hey,
TSM is
Kargan?
retarded for letting him go. It's so unbelievably dumb, and I hate them for giving me a reason to cheer for Curse. Because now I'm going to,
Okay,
because X
well,
Special
you've
is a
taken it
boss.
too far. There.
I mean,
Go, Mitch, because I'm gonna.
you know
I'm gonna
what?
run with
I
this.
don't really have a big point on X Special. I think that if some team is really not really enamored with one of their players, they have to do something about it. And I'm not going to point out anyone in specific. I don't know the inner workings of TSM. I don't know the inner workings of any team in general. But the fact is, if they're not really enamored with somebody, why would they stick with them? They can pick up somebody who works better with their team. I can jump into a solo queue team and probably work well with somebody. I mean, that's obviously a far cry away from a pro LCS team. But at the same time, if the synergy isn't there emotionally, they're going to suffer from it, especially when you don't synergize well with your AD carry. Especially position like support needs to work with the AD carrier. It's not going to work at all.
Well, I mean, are we hearing any word that the problem was coming from X Special and Wild Turtle getting along? Because as far as I know, it was X Special and Reggie that weren't getting along.
What I
No.
heard was that there was an attitude issue from Xpecial, and Xpecial also released a very lengthy
Crush that.
video
Crush it.
about how he basically he acknowledged his attitude problem, and he saw this as a learning opportunity, and he kept referencing like, oh, when I get back into the LCS,
Sounds like
he
chaos.
kept referencing other teams or maybe TSM. Like, it was very much a, hey, I did bad. I'm sorry, guys. Pick me up. I'm available. Unless TSM wants me back, then that's cool too. And obviously
Then
he
I'd like
gets
that.
snatched. So let's take a moment to just highlight all of the movements with TSM, since
For you, Greg.
I think this
So
is going to
here's
be...
the movement. It's a mental bowel movement to give an AD carry like Cop the best support in the country.
We'll
Let that
see.
sink in.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Cop is not Wild Turtle, I will give him that, but he is an extremely reliable person, and for, like you said, good players on shitty teams, he is like the highlight of Curse and has been for a long time now. So to give
Cop,
him an elite,
is there star player?
I would say,
Really? They have
Cop
a
is
star
boy.
player?
have you
I
guys
think
know
it's
Cop,
St.
man?
Vicious.
Because he doesn't
I think
like
it's St.
anything about it.
Vicious from the
St.
desk.
Vicious is their coach. They'll be like, yeah, I like all the calls he made in the practice games. We crushed in those practice games.
You can disagree, but in all the games that I watch from Curse, Cop is always one of the guys that's keeping them in that game.
Right.
And to
But
have him get through his early game, which I think X Special can help him do, that's going to be deadly.
yeah,
I think that'll help a lot. I think that you're talking about a player that's, as Mott eats the microphone right now, I don't think he's a player that's like on the cusp of being a really, really good AD carry in North America. Because if you say something like, "Hey, he's right there. He needs the right the right support, and he'll suddenly just crush every bottom lane." I don't see that. He's not super aggressive. He's not really winning lanes in any sort of in anything. Even with those supports he's had, what's happened? I agree
what supports
that getting
what
something
supports
like
has he
Special can
had?
help. I realize that, but I've never seen him being showing individual play, ever.
Well, think about it like this. Think of all the different supports he's had over this split. He's had like one, every other month or something? And despite not being able to develop the kind of synergy that a carry and a support need in the bottom lane, look how consistently he's been performing.
Mott looks sick hungry. Talk about it.
I think we should leave the curse discussions for a later date when Curse actually has something, because I'm interested to see.
They have a support. It's confirmed. Like, this is not anything. We can talk about this. Because of death. I know you hate Curse like it's your grandmother, but your mother-in-law. But seriously.
But let's focus in on TSM for now, and let's get through the.
No,
TSM
we're not going to
discussion.
focus on TSM because I know how much you like them, and we're not going to talk about them for.
Will you listen? Will you listen? You'll be so proud of me, Mitch. You will be so proud of me when you hear what I have to say.
I'm going to put my headphone up for a second.
Be prepared. Here we go. TSM total moves. We're going to go through everything before we hop in. So they bench Xpecial. Xpecial goes to Curse. We've reviewed. Glebe Glarbu, which I'm super pumped to scream out, comes into TSM. Bunny Fufu becomes a sub. The Odd One retires and becomes a coach for TSM. And Amazing from the Copenhagen Wolves joins TSM. Here's why I'm super excited about TSM. I'm super excited about TSM because they are a piece of shit that's stuck in their own head, and this is exactly what just happened. So Xpecial probably had, and he's been on record saying, "I'm bored with the LCS." TSM has always been a great team that is a fan favorite, able to perform well, but can't go all the way. Because in their minds, they're TSM, and TSM is great, so TSM is going to do well. Bullshit. They get in their own head, and they lose games for stupid fucking reasons. So what happens? Xpecial is probably shooting shit off all the time in the background, saying, "Oh, well, we're the best, so we don't even have to worry about it, whatever, second place, no big deal." And the management, Reginald now in that position, which is probably a little bit of clashing going on there, finally says, "Well, no, we really want number one, and your attitude is probably shit. And you're not going to get us there because you're stuck in your own head." So they bench him. Then the Odd One, who probably secretly also has this kind of mentality, goes, "Well, if we're going to start being a dickhead organization and benching people for attitude problems, I don't really want to be a part of that. I don't want to be held accountable. I'm going to become a coach," which is the new LCS way to go, I guess, if you don't want to perform. That being said, that may not be what's going on. I haven't read too much into that issue. That's just my initial reaction. So if there's other reasons outside of the game, inside of the game, whatever, that is what it is. That's my opinion with just the amount of information that I have. So Xpecial goes over to Curse. Meanwhile, Chaox is talking about wanting to get back into the LCS. That's a scream for bring me in, bring me in, bring me in. Either
Bring
to
me
EU
in,
teams
coach.
or to NA teams. It's just fucking stupid. TSM is a great team, but they're too cocky. And I feel like right now, they've made themselves entirely vulnerable. The TSM that was TSM is no longer TSM.
Yeah, I feel like they've turned into Dignitas almost.
Am I a TSM fan? I was. The TSM that I liked...
What?
The TSM that I liked
Oh,
is no
shit.
longer.
Oh,
It's no
wow.
longer.
Do you have allegiances anymore?
That's
Do you
for
have
the
a
summer
soul
split.
anymore?
That's for the summer split to decide. And I
What?
won't comp out and say that...
Cloud9 welcomes you with open arms.
Well, first of all, I've always
Embrace
been a
it.
Cloud9
Finally.
fan. I've always been a Cloud9 fan because I'm impressed by Cloud9. I think Cloud9 has their shit together more than anybody else. And you can tell, if you want any measure outside of the game to rate why Cloud9 is a great team, roster. That's the one word you need. What have they
They've always
changed?
been good.
Since they've joined the LCS, what have they changed?
Nothing.
They've also been. I wouldn't say that you can say, hey, you can't just mic drop roster when you talk about Cloud9, considering they've had a fairly stable roster since before TSM was really dominant and had a great roster. I would say they've had that same roster for quite a while. Especially the main last change would be when Wild Turtle joined, but they've been really solid. But the key is solid. They haven't been the best. TSM has not been the best. They have not been the best for 2 straight splits.
They've been the best in the NA.
They've been stomped on by C9 the last 2 splits. In the playoffs,
Are we talking about Cloud9?
I'm talking about how the fact that they need to make changes because they need to make something. Do they want to stay second best every time? I don't think they do. So they need to make something. And they bring in for Amazing as their new jungler.
We're talking about TSM now.
Yeah, we are talking about TSM. There's not a lot to
C9.
talk about C9. Don't worry, I'm not that much of a fanboy. I like CLGs better, which it'll be interesting to talk about in a little bit. But you have big changes coming up from TSM.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that Amazing coming in the jungle. Odd One's gone.
Yep.
And you've got Gligarbu, which I'm not going to be able to say ever. I'm not even going to pretend to.
Glarglue. I love it.
I'll be curious to see how they do in the summer split. They have a little bit of time to prepare. They have, I think, this week is All Stars coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Does the summer split start next week? After that,
We have... I don't even know. Do we even have a
I'm
schedule
not sure
yet?
either. I need to actually see what the time.
We have
frame
the
is.
All-Star... Hold on. How far in does the All-Star break go?
Well, I mean, it's at least next week. Next week is the games.
Right.
Yeah. May 8th is when it starts.
I'm trying to pull that up myself right now and try to figure it out to see the new teams because we had 2 switch out from the North American side of things. We have 2 new teams with Complexity Black and LMQ, which I didn't get to talk about because you guys had a boring ass week last week when I was gone. We got to talk about nothing.
No,
and
we got to talk about all the things. And by
you
the
guys
way,
talk about what,
for you
3
people,
series of games and
Hold on.
suddenly there's roster changes of the asshole this week?
for those people in the chat room and sitting at home, I'm a Cloud9 fan, but I'm not a Cloud9 fanboy.
He's a fanboy of TSM, and now I think
there's-
it's kind of gone.
I've always been a Cloud9 fan ever since they started winning, which obviously that's a really stupid reason to love a team, but I like teams that can perform. I'm willing to let myself be impressed, and I'm willing to let a new team into my heart to replace the little black pit that TSM traded away to Curse. And it will never be Curse. It will fucking never be Curse. And it's nothing to do with the players on Curse, except for St. Fish's. It has
everything to do with St. Fish's.
It has to do with the brand of Curse.
Hey,
I
Greg.
do not like the brand of Curse.
Greg, do you know where it's
like the
easy to
champion
find
brand.
a nice GIF of a bandwagon that I can just post in this, just so I don't know, jump on one, just find something.
I'm going to be on the LMQ. I'm on the LMQ bandwagon.
Would be an all right one. I would totally. I don't say I would respect it. I would understand it because they could do really well. I'll be really curious to see how they do this year because they stumped the shit out of XCG. Not really saying much. There's huge air quotes because I'm putting my mouth to the side of the microphone. But we'll see. Hey, can we go on to somebody else? Like we have a lot more to talk about. There's been a lot of shit.
All right, Mitch. Well, you're up. Pick a topic.
Well, sticking in the NALCS, we have a really, really big favorite for CLG's top lane.
And?
I'm trying to figure out what his name is because he's from Korea and he's a former Najin player, if I remember correctly.
I'm gonna butcher the spell, the pronunciation of the name. But Nyen steps down. Very sad. And
that was a big Seraph, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But
he's at least by the information that's immediately in front of me, he is just auditioning for the role. He's trying out.
Except the fact that they literally posted a tweet about 5 hours ago that said we're going to pick up Sarah from the airport in a couple hours.
Well, yeah, he's trying.
That's not an audition at that point. You pick somebody up from Korea. I mean, we all know he's the front runner. Zoro Zero said he's not going to CLG.
Yeah.
He already said he's not. And then who else are you going to pick up? Like Seraph is a great pick, I think, because he's experienced. He's got a lot of experience in Korea, which I think will help them out a lot if they can get to the idea of the international tournaments, which I hope they would get to. he could help them out a little bit. But he's already apparently got good English skills. I really hate to say that this is really important for for joining an LCS team, that people have to be working on their English. But he apparently looks really good and really solid, says Monty, because Monty tweets like nobody else. So, Pone, sorry about bringing that up, because I know you and him are super close. But he looks like he's the favorite. He looks like he could be the last member of CLG. And CLG could look amazing. This could be a huge shakeup come the start of the summer split. You could see CLG overtakes TSM, or we could see TSM stomp through. We don't really know. With those new rosters, it could be amazing. It could be. I don't want to say it could be amazing and just huge puns because of the new jungler, but it could be incredible. And
I think
thankfully,
CLG,
Incredible Miracle's not playing in LCS yet.
I think CLG definitely has the chemistry to be the number 2.
Yeah,
but
they do.
I also see roster changes, making them that a contested 2. I think that it leaves some spots open because CLG definitely has the capacity to lose.
Well,
sorry,
yeah.
That was a burp, very forthcoming.
I mean, no, they had the capacity to lose last season, and they did. They were on the cusp of being in the finals for the NLCS. To be honest, they really should have been if they'd played that series a little bit better. They got the game 1, and they should have played game 2 better to get into the finals, but they didn't, and that's what happens. So you could see a lot of things change in the new. You could see a new top 4 being the C9, TSM, CLG, LMQ, and I'll be honest, I don't know how to rank those 4. I don't know where to put them, and I think that will be the top 4, but I have no idea in which order, because I think if they keep the same standards for Worlds this coming season, and say summer split is what counts, it'll be top 3, and one of those 4 will be left out, assuming that those 4 are the unquestionable top 4. Which, who knows? It could go very, very.
To me, C9 is 1, CLG probably going 2, and then 3 or 4 it's going to be either LMQ or TSM, and it's going to depend on how well the roster changes from TSM stack up to, whether or not you believe LMQ was just gaming the promotion series to try to get XDG, or if that was actually the best they could do.
I mean, how could you game it? They were literally in position. They won 3-0.
They have, I believe there was a series they did not try as hard as they could have on to get position. I think
they were set, though.
I
was gone last week. I don't want to. We don't need to discuss things that happened last week.
Maybe I can be wrong. Maybe I can be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that we discussed that. And that was raised as a possibility for them having not done that well in that particular series.
Please let's skip that because I was gone. Yeah. We don't need to bring up things from last week's episode. So I'm sorry.
Well, in other CLG news, CLG actually traded temporarily. I'm assuming Link to Cloud9 for the All-Star.
Well, it's
games.
For 9 days.
Yeah,
a whole 9 days their game. So for Cloud 9 days, they're gonna get Link.
All right.
Huge finger guns for everyone listening at home.
High had his lung collapse and will not be able to attend All Stars, which sucks. But like a badass, he was streaming from the hospital. So
good for him. While streaming, which is pretty funny.
Good for him.
Soul.
He passed out mid-stream, which was hilarious. He's like in Champ Select and passed out.
Yeah,
and went into a game, but yeah,
and that's highly sportsmanlike. I mean, if you're willing to toss up one of your team members, that's a high risk maneuver, if you ask me.
What risk is there?
What risk is there
for who?
For CLG sending one of your players over to a really good team, having them develop relationships, having an opportunity for him to jive really well with them. And then taking him back.
I disagree.
That's a pretty big assumption.
I'm going to
assuming the fact that Link is anywhere close to the skill ability of High, which he's.
No! I think Link is very close to that skill ability.
I'm not saying that.
But at the same time, he's not gonna. Okay, you can say jive as though we're in the 80s or 70s, but at the same time, he's getting a little bit of experience. He's not quite to the level where High's been there for 2 splits.
Sure.
He's been very well indoctrinated into C9. He's not going to ever take that over.
No.
He might be a
not
sub,
what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
He could maybe get to the sub position, but at the same time,
in this situation where, for whatever reason, because we've seen a billion roster changes, let's say a roster change does occur. Let's say High can't come back.
I think you're bitter about TSM.
I'm not bitter. I am. There's a burden off my shoulders. The shitty,
Sure.
the
Sure. You don't
shitty
have to
mind
root for a
games of
team,
TSM are gone.
Even though it's your oh my gosh, I can't even think of words right now.
Listen, I love the New England Patriots. Okay, they're a great team, but I know when Tom Brady doesn't have anybody to throw to, they're not going to win. And I still sit there, and I'm still a Patriots fan, but I watch games knowing they're going to lose. And in the spring promotionals, or not promotionals, whatever the championship was called, I watched that Cloud9 TSM game, and I knew Tom Brady didn't have anyone to throw to. I knew TSM was going to lose. And I hope the best for TSM. I hope they win back my love and respect by being a well-coached team. And when you think about it, you have Reginald and you have the odd one. Two super experienced players coaching the team. You've got Bjergsen in there. You've got good teams, or good players from other spaces. You still got Dyrus up top. If you coach that team well, you could do okay. Will they?
I'm not so high about Dyrus being up top. I think if they were going to swap anything, I think odd one out of the jungle is probably a good idea in this meta.
I think Dyrus is a great player, but I think he's such a passive person and such a laid-back person that when there's problems and when there's drama, he just sits back and goes, okay, I'm going to stay up in top, I'm not going to ward, and I'm going to die a bunch, and I'm going to underperform. But I think if you have a hot TSM and you have
Not
a
bitter at all.
motivated TSM, you've got a hot Dyrus, and
I don't think hot Dyrus is a thing.
it was when he was allowed to bring his pillow.
Yeah, that's gonna really fire him up. Hey guys, I already took this nap right before Champ Select. Let me go.
So to me,
Let
like
me fucking
TSM,
go!
TSM went from one of the hottest teams in North America to, again,
They're
like you were
ice cold
saying,
right now.
Mott, one of those shitty teams that has really good players on it that you like to see, and that would be Bjergsen and Turtle.
Mm-hmm.
And
we haven't seen them now.
It just
They have
sucks the
two-
life out of me to think about it.
They have 40% new roster coming in. We'll see. I could see them doing really well or really shitty.
I think they're
You got
gonna do
amazing
really shitty.
and blah, 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 coming in. We don't really know.
Amazing will be good, but I don't.
Will he be amazing?
Really.
Yeah, I mean
Right now.
he wasn't even on this team he was on. He was good, but he wasn't even a superstar on that team. Not really. I don't know. I just have bad feeling about it.
Well, you know who else has a bad feeling? Coast.
Oh, because they don't have a team?
Because
Hi-oh.
Coast disbanded.
Boom!
Shifter and
Work
Zion
your
Spartan
guns,
went
guys.
to Dignitas.
They're gone. That doesn't exist anymore. Like,
Yes.
wait. How long is it? We're 45 minutes in, and we've covered maybe half of the.
We
transfer.
were just wrapping up NA, but honestly, EU is such an open book right
Oh
now
my
because
God, it's
not stuff
ridiculous.
isn't set in stone.
It's ridiculous right now.
So
But-
let's get back on track since we don't have that much time. And how great is Dignitas looking right now? Pretty good.
That's
Really?
how good they're looking.
You don't like them that much?
Shifter
I'm
and
not
Zion
impressed.
Spartan reinvigorate that team for me.
What is to reinvigorate? Like,
They reinvigorate.
They've been mediocre. They actually, I think, look a lot better with Shifter and Zion.
They
look a lot
yeah, both
better.
of them have played really well this year.
maybe they won't get pushed into relegation. And to be,
They didn't this year. Are you serious? What are you trying to
didn't
like?
they?
No, they were
Coast
exactly
did. Coast
middle
got
of the pack
relegated because
this
they
year.
lost.
I'm talking Dignitas.
Yeah.
Didn't they
Yes,
get pushed
didn't
down?
go
Coast
to
got
relegation,
relegated.
Oh,
Dignitas
yeah, that's
won that match to not go into relegations.
Right. No, I mean though, but
I've been
they
gone
were
for a week. Come
they
on,
were
man.
down in the bottom, weren't they?
I mean, they went into the relegation match
my
against Coast.
They were the worst team that did not get put into relegations.
Happy face.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do better. I could see them beating TSM more often than not this year.
No, I won't disagree with you there. I don't know. Like, I'm not super impressed. And I love Dignitas. I love what Dignitas used to be, and I loved everything about them. And then they just underperformed a ton. And there's only so long that you can break my heart before.
They need a better support than Kiwi Kid. I'm sorry.
I'm really excited to see.
If Special had gone to Dig instead of Curse, I would have been like,
I would have been pumped. Exactly. I would have been right there with you.
If it had blood flow. No, like I'm excited to see Mott, who you end up actually picking for this year, because you clearly are like sold on the TSM. You've sold all your stock on that. I'll be curious to see.
How about this? It's not going to be Curse.
I mean, that's not really saying a lot in your heart because you hold Curse at the bottom, like the second finger of hell in Dante's Inferno. So I don't really feel like that's saying a lot.
As a Red Sox fan, I like Curse less than I like the Yankees.
Wow.
You said it was the brand. What about Curse's brand makes you say such a thing? Because that is like, wow.
This is coming as a Minecraft player and as a retired World of Warcraft player.
Who Red Sox players are obviously very, very affiliated toward.
And watching Curse just buy up all these different web properties just for the fucking sake of it. And then literally making no sizable improvement other than just a framework, other than a little banner at the top of those websites. And then watching the piece of shit video series they put together around the same time that the Summoner Showcase came out. And just watching them try so hard to be online and to be one of the cool video gaming companies that makes cool stuff, content. No, the people who worked super hard to build these websites, to make communities that are awesome and great and fantastic, put their blood, sweat, and tears in. You came, you wrote them a check. These people previously doing it for free obviously take the money. I can't fault them to that. But then you just put your name on it, boop, and then you just sit.
You don't sound bitter.
You just sit. That's all you
do.
Like
I said.
And then let's game the League of Legends scene.
Which of those websites broke your heart?
It was probably MMO Champion. That was the one.
You poor
soul.
That
was the start.
I should have gone left for 20 minutes. I probably would have been able to do something.
Yeah.
Consider you're gonna go complain about random. Hey, let's get on the EU kind of shit.
No,
I know. I'm
on.
curious,
but
you had a little pensive. You had a little pensive, just I don't even know what to call that.
I was asked what my problem with Curse was, so I
feel like I should be writing Mott a prescription.
No, but you hated Curse before that.
No, you guys asked me what my problem with Curse was, so
I did ask him.
Greg asked for that. So I gave it to him.
Hey. So we got a little bit of EU stuff. Let's at least cover that.
We got 5 minutes.
Baby steps.
No, we're gonna be over an hour. We're gonna be over an hour, Greg.
Baby steps into EU. Well, we started late, first of all, so let's not throw that.
That's my fault. I admit that.
Baby steps into EU with EG. EG is auditioning places for jungle, marksman, and support.
I'm so worried.
So the majority of their team is undecided at this point.
Yeah.
That's
I think
pretty
the most likely thing that's going to happen is there's going to be one swap. It's either going to be Snoopy out of the jungle going into a coach position or Yellow Pete out of AD carry. Crepo will stay. That's my prediction.
I think my prediction is that I'm really sad that a lot of people in Twitch chat right now don't get to see me play Slap the Bag because I was playing that all day today.
I totally heard Slap the Vag when you said that, by the way.
No, I heard Bag. I just thought he meant testicles.
The bag was pretty much dark purple colored, so I mean that kind of works a little bit. But at the same time, I don't have the bag anymore. It's over at my friend's apartment.
That actually raises more questions than it answers, I think.
Are you serious? Have you not played Slap the Bag before?
No.
Do you guys know what Franzia is?
Yes.
The box of wine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that it is a box that houses a bag of wine that has a novel.
Yes.
I have.
And
what,
the game that you play with that bag of wine is you pull it up and you just slap the shit out of it and then take a pull and pass it to the next person. And that's called Slap the Bag.
Does slapping the bag do anything
most evening? And people have been calling me out on that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Karjan. I don't know how you're catching on to me being on a Franzia kick, but I guess that's a thing. But hey, EU.
All right, EU. Well, Cloud9's an open book. We don't know what's going on. Or sorry, Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, we don't know what's going on
Yeah. Okay. So
NIP's gone.
EU.
NIP's gone. Like gone.
And all of their people are free agents.
They're going elsewhere. I mean, this is the time when they can do shit.
Considering Super Hot Cruise Mix has gone, retired. They're looking for replacements. Nothing's announced. Forgiven leaves the Copenhagen Wolves. Nothing's announced yet. Alex Each leaves Gambit. Where's Optimus Tom?
You can't leave that separately. That's a big fucking deal.
That's a huge deal.
I know it's a huge deal. And where's Optimus Tom to stand by his glorious Gambit
he's shoutcasting,
gaming?
and I'm sorry. Like, who's going to replace that is the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest question. I don't think it's what is Alex Each doing? He has a family. He has a kid. I understand a little bit of that, but the question, I think we can question why he's doing stuff. The bigger thing is who's replacing him, because that matters in 2 weeks. What Alex Each does with his family in 2 weeks doesn't matter. Great, he's successful. He has moved on to a parenthood. But at the same time, we had to really actually pay attention to who's actually on Gambit as their mid laner. That's a really big deal.
Well,
yeah, there aren't too many free agents with the caliber of Alex H. So whoever they get, I don't see them as getting back to their level.
Pause. There's not too many. I will give you that 100%. I will hand that to you. I'm going to say there's nobody in the EU of the caliber of Alex H. to be replaced. But.
Mott's getting emotional.
Is there someone of the caliber of today's Gambit to fill that spot? Yes.
Nuke Dog.
Yes.
Nuke Dog.
That doesn't solve their problem.
Pick somebody.
Nuke Dog.
It gives them a starting point.
Nuke Dog.
That's not much.
No, it's not much, but that's all you have. Now, there are rumors out there of a Super Team version 2.
That's happening. No, that's already been confirmed. It's not rumors. They have confirmed it from their own individual players that they're going to be in the Challenger Series and have a super team again.
And Alex Each is on that list.
Yes, he is. And that's confusing a little bit because he's already, I would assume, set, but what is half of that?
So I guess there's two things. There's two things you could do in the EU, all right? You can either be on Fnatic or SK Gaming, or you can go to NA, or you can stop and start a super team. Take your pick, you players. Which are you going to be?
Well, if you take a bunch of people who have been in the LCS and they want to get back to it quickly, what are you going to do? Are you going to replace somebody on a Challenger Series team, or are they going to make their own really, really good, really well-known Challenger Series team, like a super team? And they can make their way up. If they win, cool. If they don't, well, I guess that's it.
It'll just be Alliance?
I mean, just be Alliance. I don't know. They finished pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I am an Alliance fan. But I'm just saying, for the sake of
they didn't do well for me for winning a bunch of skins, but that's okay. I like my friend just messaged me, said, why is half of this podcast about Franzia?
We should get a sponsorship.
From Franzia, I will gladly be on stream every week and just slap the hell out of the bag. It'll be great.
I don't know.
But all right, wait. What else do we have? We have to at least cover each of the transfers that have happened so far, because we have a little bit more with stuff like Insec is gone from KTB. That's a big deal. Insec is the name of a play now. Involved in any Lee Sin doing something amazing is called an Insec, and he's gone. He's out of professional play.
But
he's out of professional play. I thought he was going to a different team.
He's out of KTB. I don't know who he's going to. If he's going to somebody, please let me know. I have not heard that yet. But he's out of KTB, a team that's well established in the OGN. They probably will be back, I'd assume, considering they made if they made the playoffs, they're back in as a seeded team. But that's a big deal. That's a big loss, I think, for KTB.
Yeah, I'd agree. He's one of their star players, and like you said, he's just an iconic jungler.
Exactly. And then the other big one from across the ocean, I think, we have Migza retiring. I mean, that happens. But the other one is Chawi is going to join TPA. Going to All-Stars. I think he's going to All Stars with them next week. TPA is the Southeast Asia representatives for All Stars. That's a big deal. That's a lot of roster changes going in when you have him as well as Link coming in as the C9 mid laner. Huge air quotes for all the listeners. That's a lot of changes coming in. I'll be curious to see how the teams without a lot of synergy, or potentially without a lot of synergy, handle that when they're actually at All Stars.
I think one of the good things going for them is that it is All Stars and doesn't really count for a ton.
It's a lot of money, though. There's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, but they're all the number one teams. They're all going to be okay on money. You know?
No, I know, but at the same time, I would say there's not such a big advantage as there was last year with the extra spot to Worlds. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
But I think that the money deal is actually still pretty amazing.
I mean, they're going to work for it, but it won't be the end of the world.
$50,000 was the prize for either LCS Spring Split champion. That's what they got straight up. And they're about to get that again?
Yeah, but isn't that 50 divided by 5?
Do you want $10,000?
Minus the cost of all.
I like $10,000.
If you look at a career standpoint, though, like I was actually thinking about that.
No,
recently.
it's 50,000, not just divided by 5, but you also have to keep.
I know it goes to the organization
too.
Right.
Stuff. Like
I
how
mean,
much
the real money for these people really isn't through championships. It's through sponsorships. Like I bet if you were to take the dollar value of what you get from the notoriety to sponsors for winning a championship versus the amount of money you actually get, you're probably it's pennies, I bet.
Well, I'd say it's less, but I think that probably the clauses involved, I don't know them. I'll be totally honest, none of us know them because why would we have any insight into that? That'd be way too powerful for, I guess, journalists as ourselves.
Are we journalists now?
I guess, I don't know, something reporters, is that, I don't even know if that's even better, but at the same time, we're very lacking in knowledge. But I would expect that the money that comes through from a LCS split has to go through the organization. But I would think that something completely bonus, like All Stars, would be completely separate. Why would an organization get even a substantial amount of that money? I don't know that, but I would think that a organization like Cloud9, like Fnatic, like any of the teams who are participating in the Invitational the players would get the substantial amount of any money they win from that. And I would think that would make sense. They don't have to worry about their teams sponsoring them through an entire 28-game split and through playoffs. This is one tournament where they got invited to because of their own merit. I think that should go to them. I don't know that it will. I don't know the inner workings of any of these teams, but I think that's where they should be able to win that kind of money for themselves with no team kind of influence on that. I don't like it. I don't like that might be a thing.
I don't disagree, but then you got to take into consideration the coaching staff.
We don't know anything about it, though. We have no idea. No, the coaching staff. I think coaching staff is fine. I think that's okay. But the management itself, like at
no,
I
don't think
first,
it's anything
we are
like that.
we are an established esports organization. I think that's. I mean, yeah, you're going to jerk off on stream, but I mean, other than that,
it's probably. I mean, it's. I'd say for a decent sized team, you're splitting the money 8 ways. The people who are really getting snubbed out of all of that is probably the subs. I doubt any sub is tied into the company's money.
Well, they have to pay them something to keep them on.
Yeah, and I mean, housing is a huge thing.
LCS-based. There's, I think, rules in place for subs.
Right, but I'm saying when it comes to a tournament
This is a bonus tournament. This is a bonus tournament. This is not at all associated with those.
Right.
I mean, when you can throw in Link for a weekend and say, oh, we don't really care about our organization for... I shouldn't say they don't care about the organization, but they can say, we need somebody, bring him in for a second, we're going to drop him in 4 days after we're done.
Well, here's a good question. You actually make a good point. Why didn't they use their sub for the mid laner? It's not like they don't have one.
Does he play mid?
Who is their mid lane sub? I don't actually know who that is.
I'm going to look that up right now.
I'm trying to. But keep talking for a second, even though I know that was kind of a weird place to leave stuff on.
You know what I
Like,
love
why
about
did they get
cookies
to
on the
bring in a
internet?
player from another team to?
Because
Like,
they can't.
how's that
It was in
rule
between
apply?
splits. They literally found a clause that said we can bring somebody in from another team for 9 days and then drop him. And said, "Hey, Link, do you want to join this for us?" And they said, "Cool."
They did not have a active mid
Sub. They didn't, I
sub
don't think I have one.
because on Leaguepedia, Link is listed as their sub for mid.
Yeah, actually, he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of recent things happening, but he is currently listed as that on Leaguepedia,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird considering he is obviously currently on an LCS team and will be come the summer split.
Yep. Yep. Well, that leads us to our discussion, our very brief discussion on the NA All-Stars, which are coming up. Next week is going to be insane. I can't wait. I can't wait for next week because we are going to be really in the thick
We
of
have new
things.
thing.
It's going to be, is it all going to be decided at that point? Let me look at the...
No, I think that all the farmers are decided now.
Yeah, no, we have and by the way, Mitch, if you haven't hopped onto it already, the All-Star betting pool.
Could not
No,
be
I'm
more
gonna be
confusing.
I'm gonna be on top of that. Trust me, I want some mystery skins that are not really terrible from you.
Let me see.
Could we format that betting thing any more poorly?
What? That's perfectly
I'm not
formatted.
involved, so yeah.
Are you kidding
you're
me?
terrible.
No, hold on. I'm showing the
Hey,
stream
I don't know. No. We're not. We're gonna screen this, but hey, we're gonna be doing a bunch of bets on the All Stars.
Hold on.
Just
This
games
is
in
about to
general.
cut over. You guys aren't going to be seen, and this glorious thing is going to be seen. My glorious formatting betting pool thing is. It's so self-explanatory. There
Okay,
are
explain.
9
no.
pools. Hold on, I gotta reposition this for everybody.
They're
There's
gonna
9
fool
pools.
me.
The
What?
teams are here.
I don't know you anything. I don't think. Somebody in chat. Sorry.
The teams are there. You pick on the bet side who you want to win. Easy. And then did the person win? And then you can easily see, oh, hey, I bet in pool 1 on Team Ice. Did they win? Yes.
Did
I
they-
won over who else would be my thing on the other side of the bets.
We forgot to leave off who's betting.
What do you mean?
We'll do that later, I guess. But I'm just.
You
mostly
fill in your name. Watch. I'm going to go and put in bet. I'm going to put it on Ice. Boom. I've bet on Ice. And, oh my god, I'm going to get my first rounds in here. Haha.
Yeah, we're gonna get this
Now we're
picks
betting.
in. But hey, did you guys see? What was rumored, and I think is actually going to be the last format for the. It's not invitational. It's the. What's the other one? It's invitational is the teams. What's the individual players? It's the. What is it called for the All Stars?
The All-Star, the
Yeah, no one
votes?
knows. No one knows.
The
Okay.
Fire and Ice thing?
Yeah, you saw what was the last format for that?
No, I haven't.
I think it's 1v1.
That's gonna be so long.
I mean, no, it's not like 1v1. Like each person individually does that. I think it's gonna be the top, like the
Oh,
top
hold
2
on.
people from
No,
one
I
side get
have it right
votes,
here. I have
and
it
then
right
drop.
So I'm gonna read it straight from the site. On Sunday, May 11th, the final day of the All-Star Challenge, the 2 teams will split up and compete in a series of 3 1v1 matches and a single
Yes.
2v2. 2 of the
Suck it.
1v1 matches will be worth 1 point each for their respective All-Star teams, and the 2 will be worth 2.
Okay, so it's happening. That is actually the final one. All right, I saw that the other day, and I thought that was pretty much right. But I'm seeing what Dom got Minuteman Gangplank. I know you're in chat, Dom. Enjoy that.
Yeah, Dom. Enjoy the skin that you got. Still waiting for mine.
That was the
From
last.
who?
That's the last one. I'm set. I'm set for everyone.
Dom still
giving
owes
stuff.
me a skin.
Oh,
I mean,
I do believe.
I'm really excited to hopefully get a few more, considering
I'm gonna double
pissed that
check
Galaxy
which
Rumble,
one I
Super Galaxy
beat.
Rumble didn't
See,
come my way.
I
Oh,
feel
whatever.
gypped by that whole
You feel
thing.
gypped? Oh no.
You got so wrong.
No, because the one that I won comes from the guy who can't pay it out to me.
Oh, the new guy.
No, Optimus Tom can't do it.
He can pay it out. It's the other way around that can't happen. You can't gift him because
then
he has
fucking-
everything
he
already.
He hasn't.
He
paid me
gifted
yet.
me. It happens.
He hasn't
fine.
paid me yet. That's
He can pay you because he has unlimited Ryan points because he's a Riot employee.
Yep. So TSM
just can't win
CLG.
anything.
Dom bet on CLG. Dunked.
You sound really like New Yorkan with that. Dom bet on CLG. I can't
New
actually
Yorkin.
pull it off very well, so don't even pretend like I said that. But
Oh man.
wait, where did Dom? Oh yeah, Peter lost that one, but Greg, you beat Adam on that one.
Yes, I did.
I mean, he's been in a rut right now.
I predicted the entire.
We're not.
I
We know.
didn't-
I don't
I
even
didn't make
talk about
bets
that.
on the
I'm
entire
concerned
thing,
that you're
but I made
you're like a
predictions the entire
sage
thing.
on this, and I don't want to bet against you, especially not on multiple games in a row.
Well,
If it makes you feel any better, I'm
here's-
not going to bet on All Stars at all.
Here's the thing: is you just vote whatever Optimus Tom votes for, you bet against, and then whatever Greg votes for, you vote for. Just grab it in one of the other pools. Do we understand how this works? Because
What do
this
you
is
mean?
going to be big for the shows coming up. I'm going to be publishing this somewhere on Twitter, maybe.
I'm not betting on the All Star game,
somewhere
man. I
oh,
refuse to
no.
participate.
On the Twitter, I would be concerned
I refuse to participate.
Yes.
because you'll win too much. Oh no, Greg. I'm actually concerned that I don't want to bet against you on any sporting event ever.
Well, I think we've run these subjects into the ground.
Did we cover everything? We got everything, I think.
We did
right?
really get everything. Just
I'm looking
about.
and I don't. I mean, besides the saying Shifter and Zion, I think that's. Oh, we said that. No, we're
Yeah,
good.
no, we did.
What do we even
got
have?
Everything.
Are you? I
No,
guess.
this is,
the-
this,
No,
this-
I'm catching
Mitch.
some shit in chat for not betting. Here's why I'm not going to bet. Because it's a lot of international
too much.
teams that I don't have enough background on. Because there's some crazy roster change shit happening.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the statistics of it, you have a 50-50 chance to win.
You know what? I will bet on the Ice and Fire teams. And
And
that's
you know
it.
what,
That's
I will
cool.
bet on Ice and Fire.
You know what though? Also, these teams have been involved in Worlds. TPA was there. SKT was there.
Well, 2 champions in a row.
Right. Oh my God was there. Or OMG. I don't even know if that stands
It's
for
oh my god.
but that's what I
That
call
stand
them.
for.
You've got enough information, man. Just
Yeah.
get me some
You can
skins.
you can bet if you want to.
I just want
I
some
think
skins.
I think really that Mott is just really still incredibly butthurt because of his TSM just disbanding so hard right now.
You
And
know
so
what,
he really wants to win
Mitch?
something.
Here, you know what we're gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Watch,
Post
this
drunk
is-
pictures of me because that's not really difficult to find.
No, this will be enough.
Fair enough. But I like that I'm pulling up the summer season round robin, and because of alphabetical order, TSM's last place right now. Everyone's 0-0, but TSM is the lowest on the totem pole that way.
They probably will be. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a bad breakup.
I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be actually probably 3rd or 4th.
Meh. I'd be
I mean,
impressed.
think about it. Think about the fact that you had Dexter come in, did really, really well, and he synergized really well with their team. I don't know that that will happen with Amazing and with Global for their support, but I think it'll work well.
Mitch, you owe me big.
For what?
You just log into your league client. And with that, we are signing off. This has been the LCS
Wait, what did I just get?
T-Force
I'm concerned of
rundown.
what I just got, actually. Oh my
This
God.
is Motganorum. Tweeting at Motganorum. That's MOTGNAROM. Joining you live every Sunday night, just after 9 p.m., barring all of our lovely, lovely technical issues, which I'm glad those are back. I've missed those.
Yeah,
They're
right.
here again. And this week I was joined by Greg Credible Mushroom Russo,
Hello.
tweeting at.
At GRRUSSO.
That's right. And Mitch
Give me 700
So you were
followers,
wrong.
bitches.
Yelbox.
And I'm tweeting at something that has nothing to do with that name, specifically at Mitch Chocolate Chip, without
right.
the E, and with a big penis bird in my background, which is great because everyone loves that shit.
So with that, this has been the Trinity Force LCS rundown. Do not forget to go and send us feedback at feedback at trinityforcepodcast.com. Leave us a review on iTunes. I love to read them, especially when they're hypercritical, as long as
Of
they're
you.
5 stars. And do
You had a
not
lot more
forget to
emotion this
join
time.
us every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, all the other times for all the other time zones on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tforcepodcast. With that, we leave.
Oop.